Hello, I'm Pam Carruthers of HealingStars.com. This is the chart, the full moon, 3rd of July 2023. It's set for London in the UK, so we've got British summertime operating. Now, here's the Sun, right close to Mercury, in the sign of Cancer, and on Saturday, that was exact, Mercury joined the Sun. So now we have a moon in Capricorn, always at a full moon in Cancer, the moon will be in Capricorn. First, let's start with the positive. We have Jupiter over here in Taurus at 9 degrees 42 minutes, and it's creating a really good relationship with the Sun, with Mercury and the moon. This is a flow of energy, and it's because earth signs always get along with water signs. So obviously Capricorn is an earth sign along with Jupiter, and Cancer, of course, a water sign. So that whenever we go through the months where the Sun is going through the sign of Cancer, it's all about emotions, it's all about feelings, it's all about memories, the past, being mothered or mothering. It's very important to know, what does that crab do, the symbol for Cancer? Well, it sheds its shell, doesn't it? Its home. And it has to grow out of that shell, which is a part of the symbolism of Cancer about leaving home, being grown up, in other words. We have Venus, the beautiful Venus in the evening star right now, in Leo, along with Mars. Now, I've got good eyesight, but I can't actually see Mars. Venus is, however, the diamond, and Venus this month is going to start its journey that it does every 18 months. It will start to go retrograde, and then it will disappear for about 40 days, 40 nights, and reappear as a morning star. But meanwhile, Venus is in Leo right up until September the 4th. That's a long period of time. The retrograde happens on July the 23rd, so we're not there yet. Mercury here it is in Cancer, that will change on the 11th of July into Virgo. Now that's really positive news, because Mercury loves the signs of Gemini and also Virgo. And then it will also be aspected in turn by the wonderful Jupiter. We have Mars, as I said, is in Leo. It's in a difficult relationship. What's Mars doing over here? Let's have a look at it. It's square to Uranus. And Venus is also square to Uranus. Now, Uranus is a very unusual planet, has a very odd orbit, and whenever it contacts any planet, astrologers, we can't predict. It is unpredictable. So over these days, and it takes quite a while to move away from that connection. It takes about 8 degrees. So we're getting these surprises. These accidents can be Mars and Uranus very ungrounded. So be aware of that. Don't take risks. Today I waited to make sure that the car was signalling and wasn't going to change its mind before I crossed the road. It's one of those, be careful, be more vigilant than usual. Chiron is a very important, it's actually called a centaur. It's not a planet, it's not an asteroid, it's actually got its own name as a centaur. And it's currently in Aries, and if you're around 50, you've got Chiron return, which is a good return. It means you've done the healing, you've gone through the whole awakening process, and now you become the healer. And look, it's at 19, creating a very good flow of energy to the Venus and Mars over there in fire signs. What's also happening this month, which is very, very important, is that the nodes are about to change, and they will change on the 13th of July. Now the nodes are the North Node and the South Node. Here's that North Node in Taurus, South Node in Scorpio. They are points in space, they're shadow planets, all right? So they go backwards through the zodiac. So that North Node will be going back into Aries with the South Node into Libra for about the next 18 months. And they signify eclipses, which are always a change of energy. And Aries and Libra are very much a relationship pair. Aries is Mars, Libra is Venus. Interesting, as they change, the nodes change, they will still be picking up the tension with Pluto. Pluto's retrograde in Capricorn right now, so this is a very important unconscious energy of Pluto, and it's only till the end of the year that it will start to move for a bit longer into the sign of Aquarius. Going back to Jupiter a moment. Jupiter in Taurus is grounded. It has been very close to that node. You can see it's very, very close, calling us all to recognize the beauty in life, and especially, of course, at this time of year in the Northern Hemisphere, we have the blossoms, the blooming, the sunshine, the extraordinary sunshine here in the UK. Actually, we've had very good weather, but also it's very practical. Earth signs are practical, and that means you have to attend to daily chores, for instance. Capricorn is all about efficiency, and it's all about business. It's all about foundations that are secure. It's the castle. It's the castle energy. And so, what's happening to Saturn? Well, it's retrograde now. However, look at this. It's actually creating, although albeit a bit weak, but it's flowing to the sun. That's close. Although my diagram shows it as weak, it does mean that yes, we have Saturn on our side. Saturn rules Capricorn. So for those of you out there, dare I say out there, you've got Saturn going through your sign if you're a Pisces, which is not a bad thing, I believe, because Saturn brings that realism to Pisces, which can be taken away by Neptune. I'd like to talk a moment about Neptune. It's in a good relationship to Pluto. That's called a sextile, and it's going to be forming at the new moon a yod, which is called a finger of fate. But I'd also like to mention the event that happened at the new moon 2 weeks ago with the real tragedy of the submersible. And astrologers, we do know about timing, and to launch, which they were doing on a day, 1, a new moon, 2, Saturn retrograde, 3, new moon square exact to Neptune. It just spelt disaster. And the irony, I think that's one word for it, is that the sinking of the Titanic, which was one of the first charts that I remember looking at as a beginner astrologer, because it was all documented very well, and we all said, well, not we all, the thing was, had that ship sailed like 5 minutes later, it would never have hit the iceberg. And that new moon, when Titan submerged to go and see the wreckage of the Titanic, that new moon was exactly on Pluto in the chart of that Titanic disaster. It was very fated. It had a lot of hubris around it. And notice, people taking unnecessary risks. That's called hubris. If you understand that myth of Icarus flew too close to the sun and his wings melted, he died. That's what hubris is. You think you can take on the gods. Well, I'm sorry, but you can't. You just can't. So, although there's been a lot in the news about, rich people versus poor people and immigrants, etc., to me, it's far more about the collective unconscious. Things beyond our control. And also, from what I've read, the people on board, the whole aspect was they were adventurers. Someone actually said, the seabed is like another planet. Well, he's right, it's Neptune. Astrologers, we know that. Neptune is the god of the sea. And movies such as The Perfect Storm, if you've ever seen that film, the power of the sea. You really have to obey the rules of the sea. You really do. It's something. Neptune can take us to bliss. It can. It's oneness. It's miracles. It's grace. But on the other hand, it can be scandal. It can be subterfuge. You can't see what's really going on. All planets have two sides. So that's my little rant, dare I say, about timing, and always look at what's happening in the world right now. So coming back, Uranus is saying very clearly at this time, don't take risks, basically. Don't take risks. Stay grounded. Acknowledge Jupiter is the god of good fortune. It's known as Ganesha in Vedic astrology. And that this full moon can bring good tidings, hope for the future. Thank you for watching. Pam Carruthers of Healing Stars. Oh, one more thing to tell you. The nodes are changing sign, and I give a very good report called it's called the Vocation Report, which actually has a really good section on the nodes of the moon in your chart, more so than any other report that I sell. So if you grab your copy of the Vocation Report, that's at my other website, healingstarshop.com. Thank you for watching. Pam Carruthers. See you soon. Bye bye.